Hi everybody. So I've got a video tonight with Celtic Iron and Pod Awful, and I was going to get ready for that. I need to, but I wanted to go over a couple of things that I think are kind of interesting. I know that the Rolling Stone just broke the story about Ashley Walters, Marilyn Manson's former assistant, who is really a kind of one of the nexus points for this whole conspiracy against him. And, she's suing him for a lot of money. Well, she has amended her lawsuit to basically say that the reason that she has waited so late to come forward with her allegations is because she repressed these memories of her abuse until she had some therapy in 2020. We'll talk about that in a little while, but I wanted to go over some of the comments. I actually do read a lot of my YouTube comments. I don't have time to comment myself or to even almost any of them, but I do skim over them. I do try to read them. And my latest interview with Manson, and he's the former friend of Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson, and also Manson impersonator, who hung out with them and basically contradicted a number of things that Evan Rachel Wood is now saying. Specifically regarding a story that she's telling about her abortion. So I expected that when I put that video out, it was going to be pretty incendiary, and I knew that. And you know what? My feeling on that is that from the background interviews that I've done, and most people will not go on record, okay? So for every person, and you don't have to trust me on this, but I'm just telling you, you can trust me, not trust me, I don't care. I'm here to put up YouTube videos. I'm actually not here to convince anyone of anything. I'm telling you my thoughts on this subject, and I will continue to. But I will say that I have done a number of background interviews with people who are reluctant, for whatever reason, to go on the record and talk about these things. But other people have told me the same thing, that it was basically kind of known in Manson and Evan Rachel Wood's circle, and by several people that I've talked to, that it was not his child that she was pregnant with, and that he was very supportive of her during and after the abortion. So, I understand the critique to a degree. People say, well, why would you, Manson is just one person. This is just one person saying this. And why would you put him on when it's such an incendiary topic as abortion? And I would say two things. I would say, first of all, that he's not the only one who's told me this. He's the only one that will go on record. And secondly, because Evan Rachel Wood herself is the one who is throwing this into the public domain. Again, it's a kind of a really annoying sexism at work here, when there seems to be this underlying idea that if a man is being falsely attacked, he should just kind of take it because women are weak and fragile and we can't hold them to the same standards. I'm sorry, I really do believe, and I don't care what others believe, but I really do believe, for a number of reasons, that Marilyn Manson is being framed by this woman, and that she is on a relentless campaign of destruction against an innocent man. And not only that, but that she and her girlfriend at the time went to great lengths, as we know, because it came out in Marilyn Manson's recent lawsuit, went to great lengths to frame him for things like certain kinds of pornography I shouldn't even say here, because I don't want to get demonetized. And for other things. And that's that stupid FBI letter that they faked to try to recruit women to go against Manson. So, these are not like just sort of, kind of disturbed women and we should just let them slide. This is, think if this was being done to you. So no, I don't have much of a sense of restraint on this, because I feel like when someone picks up a weapon, I'm talking about figuratively, but when someone picks up a weapon and starts beating someone else with it, the way that Evan Rachel Wood has been trying to beat the shit out of this guy, Marilyn Manson, in the public eye, I'm sorry. My feelings of tenderness toward the softer sex will evaporate very quickly under those circumstances. But anyway, I want to look at a couple of these comments here, all right? because there were a couple of critiques I got that I thought were, I mean, very thoughtful. Most of the critiques I get are actually very thoughtful. I don't get very many that are just dumb. But I think what's going on, what I would say, is that the thoughtful critiques, there's some stuff that they're not thinking of, or they're not realizing, or maybe they just don't get where I'm coming from. All right, so I'm not going to say her name here, but she says, Colonel Kurtz, how do you know she, meaning Evan, how do you know she's lying about an abortion? The title alone will get you sued, meaning the title of my YouTube video. And just because you recruit 10 to 20 years, one-night stands, and Manson impersonators doesn't give your claims any credibility. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to get flack for this, but it's the truth. Well, you're not going to get flack from me. I think those are very fair critiques. I just don't think that they're based actually in the facts of the situation. I'm not just taking Manson's word for it on this abortion thing. This is something I've heard from other people, and frankly, it's something that is in line with Evan Rachel Wood's character, from what I've seen so far, to be duplicitous on something like this. But no, I've heard the story from several other people. As for your concern that I'm going to get sued, frankly, I've been expecting to get sued for a while now, so I'm really kind of like past the point of caring about any of that. Whatever happens will happen. Honestly, like, I don't have anything for them to take anyway, so I'm not worried about that. And I did put the title in quotation marks because I was figuratively, or I was basically quoting Manson anyway. So if you look closely at the title, I'm actually not saying that Evan Rachel Wood's lying. Manson is saying it. So anyway, sorry, Manson. No, but seriously, I'm telling the truth. There are other people who know that I'm telling the truth. I'm not afraid of a lawsuit. And honestly, like, these ladies, they've got more important things to worry about now than whatever I'm putting out into the ether. Okay. Yeah, so, the other thing I'll say, she talks about these one-night stands that I'm dragging up. I guess she's talking about, some of the women that I've interviewed who've had sexual relationships with him. But I would just say, that no, they're not all one-night stands. I've talked, for instance, to Paula Weiss, who was an established model. This is not, as the term that I hate to use, but we all know the term groupie. Now, this was an established model. This was someone that he dated for a number of months. It was a relationship. And so I don't accept that it's just all one night stands. And Manson is not just a Manson impersonator. Okay. As I talked about extensively in both the long and the short interviews that I did with him, this is someone who spent very intimate moments over a course of many days in the company of Marilyn Manson and Evan Rachel Wood, both together and separately, and hung out with Evan Rachel Wood after she had broken up with Marilyn Manson. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm not able to get someone who's, spent every single day in Marilyn Manson's company, but some of those people are afraid to come forward. Or just, don't want to get in the media glare. But rest assured, there are people behind the scenes that I have been in contact with who are verifying the same stuff that Manson and the other people that I am having on my show, the people who have the guts to come on my show, another one is Leslie Lane, that these people are attesting to. And so I don't expect you to take my word for it when I say I've got, other sources or this or that. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything, though it might seem that way. I'm just here because I think this is a really interesting topic. I think that most people have missed the boat on it. I think that I will be proven right in the end. I think that my videos will continue to age well, and not just mine, but all of the other people who are doing good work on this stuff. And I'm going to talk about that more this week. I want to do a video soon where I highlight some of the different Instagram pages and channels and stuff that are doing work on this topic. And so, yeah. So I hear what you're saying, ma'am, and these are not bad thoughts. They're completely legitimate things. I just think that you're missing out on, look, I've been doing this for over a year, researching this stuff and beating around bushes and talking to people, both on record and off record. And I feel very confident in my position, but you don't have to. All right. And then let's see, here's another one. Okay, this person says, I have to be completely honest. I have never ever watched an interview that made me feel more awkward than that. Well, thanks. I guess that is some kind. I guess that's some kind of an achievement, all right? Yes, I understood that that putting someone on my channel talking about someone's abortion, that this was not going to be like the best look for me. I did think about this. I talked about it with some people actually, but you know, I don't know how to half-ass this thing. I think Marilyn Manson is innocent. I think this woman is lying. I think that these lies continue to pour out of her mouth. She's the one who's lying about him in this abortion story and twisting it around to try to make him look like some kind of a horrible Neanderthalic abusive man. And so no, I'm not going to be nice about it. I'm not. I'm actually not that mad, but I just get really kind of wound up when I don't feel like people understand. He says, who drew her Hitler mustache with a pencil while she was stoned? I don't know what that means. I was 10 in a student summer camp, and one evening I woke up being drawn as a pirate with toothpaste. And I guess this person seems to be complaining that we talked about the Hitler thing. I don't think they really know what's going on, actually. I don't think they understand that this stuff is like part of a larger controversy. The reason, sir, we were talking about the Hitler mustache that Evan Rachel Wood drew on herself is because she's been claiming that Marilyn Manson forced all this Nazi appreciation on her and this like anti-Semitism and all of that while she was just this innocent thing. And then some pictures surface of her with this Hitler mustache on, and you know, and was a Nazi cap, a Nazi hat. And then she says, oh, someone drew that on me. Okay, so it's the reason we were talking about this. We're trying to establish the credibility of this woman and the fact that she's full of shit. Okay, that's what was going on there. And if you didn't understand, we weren't just like talking about telling stupid stories. All right. And then this person says, the conversation started about rape and it ended up with details about their sexual life. Was it hardcore or not? Even if it was, who gives a? It was consensual, wasn't it? Please remind me to be careful what it is that I watch on your channel. Sometimes the information provided would be too much to chew on. Well, the information provided was evidently too much for you to chew on because I can't really even understand your comment. I don't even think that we talked about, maybe you're talking about how I mentioned at one point that Evan Rachel Wood was accusing Manson of rape, I guess. So yes, sir, I'm going to list the charges that she's accused him of, she being the one to bring up these things. And then, yes, we moved into a conversation that ended up on their sex life. Sir, do you know why it ended up on their sex life? It's because she has accused him of being this kinky pervert that forced all of this S&M on her. So what we were trying to establish is that that was in fact a lie because she told Manson and Leslie Lane and other people way back in the day that sex with Manson was very vanilla and sweet and all of that. So we were trying to establish once again that Evan Rachel Wood is lying. Okay? So that comment was not so intelligent, I have to say. But I do get a lot of intelligent dissenting comments, and I appreciate them, and I will try to read more of them as we continue. Now, what's going on with Ashley Walters here? Hold on one second. Let me call this up. I'm not going to be editing this video because I don't have time, because I'm having Pod Awful and Celtic Iron on here in a little while, and God knows I'm gonna need to take some Xanax for that. No, that's a joke. No, but seriously, that is gonna be interesting. We will see how that goes. But yeah, so basically what happened is Ashley Walters, she's amended her lawsuit against Manson, and you know, because again, the problem is like she waited so long to bring this lawsuit and these charges, these allegations against him. So she's amended her lawsuit to say, oops, it was just repressed memories and they didn't come back to me conveniently until the fall of 2020. All right, let's look here. So here we go. Oh, damn it. No, that's not it. Come on, where are we? Let's see. Here we go. Files amended lawsuit. Okay. So this is what we got here. It says, in an amended lawsuit filed Friday, lawyers for former Marilyn Manson assistant Ashley Walters stated that she repressed the memories of much of the sexual abuse and battery she claimed she endured during her time with the shock rocker, only confronting what occurred following therapy sessions in the fall of 2020. I mean, haven't repressed memories been debunked? I'm pretty sure that I have seen documentaries about this, and I've read about this, and I've talked to people who've talked about discussed this. You know, and the thing that I would have to say is, it's one thing, I buy repressed memories a lot more when we're talking about something that happened in childhood that has been repressed in adulthood, because look, things just fade from childhood, and there are times when I'll, like, you know, remember something and I'll be like, oh, I didn't even know, like, that happened. But then again, do I really know it happened, right? But she's claiming that this stuff happened to her when she was a grown woman in her 20s, and that she went through all of this abuse and terror and all of that, and it just tucked away in there. It didn't come out until she started therapy. Some real good therapy. It's interesting how it comes out in therapy. I don't even believe any of this, by the way, right? I think this is all BS. But she had to say something, right? Because her lawsuit was going to get tossed. All right, so it says, while this is quoting a lawsuit, while Walters could not recall many of the specific acts of intimidation, threats, and coercion until fall of 2020 or later, the compilation of numerous threatening and violent events instilled a constant state of fear of retribution and retaliation should plaintiff in any way confront defendants. Okay, this is what I don't understand. They're contradicting themselves right here in the lawsuit, because they're saying two things. First of all, they're saying that she repressed these memories of this abuse, so she couldn't come forward until recently because she didn't remember it. Okay, but then in, like, the very same paragraph, they say, oh, and yeah, also, like, she was so, like, threatened and intimidated by Marilyn Manson that she couldn't come forward. Wait a minute. What would she be threatened or intimidated by if she didn't even know she'd been abused? Okay, so that's a crappy lawsuit. They just invalidated their argument. Then continuing to quote, says, this also contributed to the fact that plaintiff was unable to access many of the memories of her abuse until the effects of these threats and coercion subsided due to the public exposure of Warner's abuse and the loss of his power in the industry, when even his record labels and management dropped their representation of defendants. That is really convoluted. So what they're trying to say here, okay, so they're kind of trying to answer the objection that I just raised, because they know how ridiculous and contradictory it is with what they're doing. They're trying to square a circle, and you can't square a circle because, of course, these women are lying, but whatever. So this is what they're saying. They're saying that she was so afraid of Manson, even after, like, years when she was, like, away from him and whatever. And by the way, wasn't she going to Marilyn Manson concerts and posting about it on social media? No, they're saying that that the reason why these memories were repressed was because she was so intimidated by Manson, and that intimidation did not lessen until he started getting dropped by his record labels and management and stuff. And then that eased up, you know, that basically, like, destroyed his grip of power. And finally, like, she could relax and be like, oh, okay, all right, he's been neutered, I guess. I'm okay. And then suddenly she remembers all of the horrible things that he did to her. I mean, that is some airtight, flawless logic there. I should just close up my show right now, because, I mean, who can argue with that? That is some A+ legal work. That is some A+ psychoanalysis there. I'm sure Freud would be very impressed. All right, well, I'm sure I'm gonna get a bunch of comments, people saying, oh, you're laughing at an abuse victim or whatever. No, I'm not. She's lying. Look at the rest of my videos. Look at other people's videos. Look at Stand By Your Manson. Look at Marilyn Manson Uncanceled, et cetera, et cetera. Look at all these other people who got the truth, and you'll see, okay? Or you won't, whatever. But I do appreciate everybody watching my show, and I'm gonna have lots of content coming out this week. This is really, probably I'm going to be putting more stuff out this week than I ever have, and I'm not going to be able to keep up this pace, but I've been putting out so much, like, the last, like, week and a half and going into this week. I've been putting out so much material because, you know, I'm small, I'm a small outlet still, a very small YouTuber, but I am trying to throw as much shit at that Goliath, which is this huge HBO tank of a documentary that's coming out, and this whole Evan Rachel Wood press machine. I'm trying to throw everything I have at it, you know, metaphorically speaking. So I'm going to keep it up. I appreciate your support in whatever form or fashion you can give it. And as always, the PayPal, Patreon, all those links are below. All right. Bye, everybody.